Good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to our fourth webinar on registering and pre-filing your property taxes. I'm Tammy Wendt, and I'm the newly elected commissioner to the Board of Review, and I'm very proud to serve as your commissioner. I'm so happy that I represent you, and I am able to help the community in ensuring that all property taxes are fair and equitable. Tonight, we're looking forward to providing you with information on registration and pre-filing your property tax appeals online. We scheduled this seminar with the hopes that we would have solid dates and deadlines to convey. But unfortunately, because of COVID, dates are fluid right now. The most important thing I think that we do know is that pre-filing opens July 6th. So mark your calendars, put it in your calendar. You can pre-file for your township, super important. So July 6th or later, regardless of when your township officially opens, you can pre-file. It's a great news because it ensures you will not miss your 30-day window to appeal because you've already pre-filed. As soon as we know the dates and deadlines for your townships, we will post them to our website and social media. If you're registered, you will also be notified proactively. Registration is a great tool because you'll be notified on a regular basis of dates, deadlines, and also when your appeal results are ready to view on the website. And we're going to teach you how to do that tonight. Now, tonight we are fortunate to be joined by local, county, and state elected officials from both political parties. It is rare to find an issue in today's political climate that can bring both parties together. But tonight we can all agree that we need to keep residents' property taxes under control. How much we pay in property taxes affects us all, regardless of political affiliation. While these taxes fund key county programs, assessments that are not fair and equitable can be disastrous for a homeowner's finances and can cause hardships on families, which I think so many of us have experienced, and is the reason why you're all here tonight. So tonight it is refreshing to see both sides in agreement and working together for homeowners. So thank you. And I'm also wanted to say that I'm fortunate that we could be joined tonight by 41st Ward Alderman Anthony Napolitano, 45th Ward Alderman James Gardner, Leyden Township Assessor Al Biancalana, Cook County Commissioners Peter Silvestri, Frank Aguilar, and Sean Morrison, and Illinois State Representatives Lindsay LaPointe and Representative Brad Stevens and Rosemont Mayor Brad Stevens, and also Kathleen Willis, and I think maybe Senator Martwick. So thank you, elected officials, so much for being here. I know that you also love Cook County, you love the state of Illinois, and I would like to personally thank you for taking time out of your schedules to help promote this seminar and partner with me to ensure that your property taxes are assessed fairly. The reason I ran for this office is because while practicing law over the past 21 years, my experience in real estate and property tax appeals left me with the desire to help improve the property tax system. You know, I love this community, and Cook County is one of the best places to live and work in the United States. That's why I continue to raise my family here today. When you appeal your property taxes, you are ensuring that your valuation is fair, which helps create strong communities and helps us grow for the future. My staff and myself look forward to working with every one of you that are here tonight. So the agenda for tonight will be a short PowerPoint presentation detailing how to register with the Board of Review, which means this is how you open an account with the Board of Review, and how to file an appeal on your own and what forms and information you will need in doing so. Let's start with our PowerPoint presentation, registering and creating your Board of Review account to file your property tax appeals. The Cook County Board of Review is a separate agency from the assessor. The assessor's office determines your assessed value. That is what ultimately is used to determine your tax bill. We, as the Board of Review, can only reduce your assessed value if you bring us your appeal. If you appeal to the Board of Review, we can reduce the assessed value if it's warranted, and we'll look at your evidence to determine that. But like I said, the appeal must be brought to us in order to determine that. Residential property owners do not need to hire a lawyer to file an appeal. All right, why register with the Board of Review? So registration allows taxpayers to be notified by the Board of Review of the opening and closing filing periods for the respective township. You can register at any time. Property owners can register through the online appeals portal located on our website at www.cookcountyboardofreview.com. Required information that you'll need to register is your township, your name, address of your property, and your PIN number, which you don't need that in front of you tonight, but when you do go to register, you will need your property identification number, and you can find that on your tax bill. If you need help, you can also register by calling us at the Board of Review, 312-603-5542. Pre-filing your appeal. The pre-file period for non-attorneys, this allows you to submit your appeal before your township officially opens, so that when it does open, it's already in the queue and we're gonna work your file. Please be advised that the pre-file period will end once your township does officially open. So the Board of Review will open townships for appeals after the assessor releases his final numbers for each township. Property owners can file an appeal when the Board of Review opens their township for appeals each year. Once the schedule is finalized, it'll be available on the Board of Review website and our website and our social medias, and that'll be in about midsummer. This is the screen when you go to boardofreview.com that you're going to see. To register, you need to click this by the red arrow where it says submit appeal. I know it says submit appeal. This is how it's set up. This is how you need to register. So click there, and that'll bring you to the next page. Now you click either login, or this is where you register to create an online account. And if you can see, there's home, login/register, and then submit as appeal as a guest. Don't do that. Click login, register. We want you to do that. And that'll take you then to this next screen. So for those already registered, you're going to enter your username and password here at the login, and then just click login. If you're not registered, for a new user, you're going to click on the register here location next to the arrow on the right. You're going to create your username and password. You're going to enter your name, your email address, and then you're going to confirm it. Now you want to save your username and password. You're going to need access to this to access your Board of Review account. So after logging into your account or creating a new account, you'll then be prompted to submit an appeal. Click on Submit Appeal. I know it doesn't really make sense, but you have to do that to get your information in here, even though you're not appealing right now. This process to submit an appeal online is simple and straightforward. So first of all, you're going to click on the drop-down menu, Property Over Assessed. That's your reason for the type of appeal. It's the only option there. So that's the one that you're going to click. Then you enter your PIN number. That's your 14-digit property tax identification number that is on your tax bill. And then, like I said, it's going to ask you if you're an attorney. You're going to say no. Then you're going to click I'm not a robot. And then it's going to take you to the next screen. This is where it'll ask if you have additional property tax identification numbers. So if you have 2 lots or 2 PIN numbers for your address, this is where you're going to enter that. Most people don't, so it'll just be a no. And then just submit. And now that's where you're going to enter your personal information. This is going to tell us at the Board of Review that your PIN number and your address are associated with you. So now we have you registered in our system, and we can send you notifications. So now we know your township, when your township opens, and this is how we're going to identify you. So appellant information, that is you. Your name, address, city, state, zip code, phone number, email, and then confirm your email, and then click done. That is how you file an appeal. That is how you register. There's people I know that are not comfortable with the computer, and so I also wanted to address paper filing. We do still have that option available. You go to the home screen or ask a relative or a friend to go to the home screen. Click on Forms on our website, select Complaint Form. This form can be filled out, mailed into the Board of Review. Now, you can also get these forms at your local township assessor's office. I know that all of the assessors we work with are very helpful in supplying these forms as well. This is what your form is going to look like if you're filling out a paper form. Beside you're the appellant, fill out your name, address, phone, email, and then when it's asked for address, that's, you know, your address again, city, township, check single family. If you purchased your property in the last 4 years, you're going to indicate the year purchase and write the purchase price. You need to sign this, very important. And then the bottom portion is just for attorneys. Don't worry about that. But then on the right side, We just want to make sure, it's a common mistake. People put comps in here, comparables. That is not the location you put comparables. This is only if you have a second PIN number that you need to enter in your appeal. Triennial reassessments. So the Cook County assessor places a value on close to 1.9 million parcels in Cook County. Reassessment of property in Cook County is done within a triennial cycle. That is, every 3 years, your property is reassessed. The assessor's office alternates reassessments between the north suburbs, the south suburbs, and the city of Chicago. 2021 is the city of Chicago. And I know this is very important to all of you here. Last year, 2020 was the south suburbs. That's where I live. Then the north suburbs are going to be 2022. But the assessor's office utilizes a mass appraisal process for assessments. That's how they determine what your property is assessed at. The Board of Review can focus on individual parcels of property if an appeal is filed. That is why we can give it the attention that it needs. All right, this is a chart of the triennial. So like I said, the city of Chicago, 2021, 2024, 2027, and these are the townships in my district. You're all going to be reassessed in 2021, which the assessor should be sending out those notifications soon. Then the north suburbs next year, 2022 and 25, and then the south suburbs, 2023 and 2026, and those are most of the south suburbs listed there. So I would take a screenshot of this if I were you and you have your camera and, put it like in your home office. So the potentials of appealing: possible assessment reduction, obviously, opportunity for multi-year savings because of the triennial. So if you appealed in the first year of your triennial and a reduction is granted, you're going to get that reduction for the next 2 years as well. There's no filing fee. We don't have a filing fee, which is really good news. And the Board of Review will not increase your assessment. So I leave you with this. When your township opens for filing an appeal, you have 30 days to submit your complaint, unless you've pre-filed. The appeals process will typically take 8 to 16 weeks until you get your result. If you're registered, like we talked about, you receive an email notification that your decision is viewable in your account. And as you could see on this screen, it said, appeals, my account. You can go in there and look at the results of your appeal. You can also look at prior years. That's another good reason for having your own account there. And we keep a log of all your appeals. Any reductions will be reflected on the second installment property tax bill. And again, the Board of Review will not increase your assessment. It will either remain the same or it will decrease. And then finally, this is our contact information. We have email, phone number there. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, and we have our own website, tammywendt.com, and then of course, Cook County Board of Review. But these are all the ways that you can contact us with your questions. That was the last slide. So at this point, I just want to remind all of you that this seminar is only a portion of what our in-person outreach seminars will consist of when we come to your township later in the year. COVID has halted in-person seminars, but now that things are opening up, we can assure you that we will be coming to your community. Please remember that we're providing today's seminar as an extra opportunity to help you understand the appeals process so that when it does come time to appeal, you can better understand it. We'll be posting this video, like I said, to our social media, YouTube, and our website, so you can refer back to it when you're registering and filing your appeal. So I will now turn this over to my first assistant commissioner, Todd Thielman, who's here with us tonight, as well as 11 other of my tax analysts who are here tonight to take your questions. I just want to thank all of you for your attendance tonight, and I'm so happy that you're here to learn about this really important process. If you're signing off and don't have any questions, then I look forward to working with you in the future and meeting you at our next in-person outreach seminar. We'll continue to do all we can to ensure fair and equitable property taxes. Please don't forget, we have many avenues to contact us. So I'm going to sign off and thank you all again for being here, especially our my staff and our elected officials and all of our community members. And I'm gonna give it to you, Todd. Take it away.
Everybody, thank you, Commissioner Wendt. Great information. I hope everybody takes advantage of it. And one of the, the value of registering is being able to be have the Board of Review be in contact with you and keep you apprised of what's going on with your township and your appeals. And we're going to take this opportunity now to do a kind of a Q&A session, and we have a couple different options. So, we know that there's some personal information that may be shared, and someone may not want to bring questions to the whole group. So we do have a couple breakout rooms. If you're familiar with raising your hand in Zoom, that's virtually raising your hand. You can do that, and one of our analysts can take you. You can go into a room personally and talk to an analyst regarding your appeal, your certain situation. Or we can also, I will stay here and I'm gonna kind of MC with our staff the questions that come in through the chat box. So, all right, so let me go just right into the chat boxes here. Alexa asked about the dates updated on the Board of Review site. No, the dates are not updated on the Board of Review site. An issue that we have internally, we're trying to move mountains to get some things updated. The website for the Board of Review has some stale information on there. So Commissioner Wendt is working to get some of that updated, and hopefully we see a refresh of that very soon here. Ray asked, so he's in the city of Chicago. How can he look up which township he is in? It's funny. We've had this discussion internally. City of Chicago doesn't have townships; they have wards, but we do still cut it up in areas. Ray, you could probably the best way for me to answer that question would be to send me your address. So it's probably easier to do it that way. We have a map of it, but I would have to find out where you live. So you can reach me at todd.thielman@cookcountyil.gov. Sam, how do we find our township? Again, if you're in the city, we can help you do that by your address. Otherwise, if you're in one of the suburban townships, it will be on your tax bill what township you're in. Alexa, wouldn't you want to first file an appeal with the assessor's office? Great question, Alexa. You can file an appeal with the assessor's office. It's not mandatory that you file there before you file at the Board of Review. In the last couple of years, filing an appeal at the assessor's office, I would say positive reductions of appeals at the assessor's office are low. Now, remember, the assessor is the body that's putting the value on your home. So if you appeal to the assessor, if they change that, they're actually going against their methodology. So I think it's a little harder to be successful at the assessor's office. By all means, you can file an appeal at the assessor's office. Their windows of appeal are the same. If you check the assessor's website, and are you guaranteed your taxes will not increase if you appeal? Statutorily, the Board of Review can increase your assessed value, but historically we never have. So I think it's pretty safe to say we'll never increase. We do find omitted taxes sometimes. If a piece of property has fallen off the tax rolls, we will get it back on the tax rolls, but we're not going to increase your assessed value. Where PTAB, the Property Tax Appeal Board, they can increase your assessed value, but Board of Review will not. How can I access the Board of Review website if I forgot my password? We don't have a password reset system in our online system. So you actually need to call the Board of Review. The phone number, I'll give it one more time, is 312-603-5542. That's our general switchboard, and let them know that you're having an issue with your user or password, and they can reset it for you and help you. Let's see, if we pre-file, no support documents needed. No, if you pre-file and you forget to go back in, we're still going to look at your appeal, and we're gonna work it from a uniformity standpoint, and we will provide comparables. So if you forget to go back in, but you can, once your township opens, you can submit evidence if you feel you need it. How do we submit comparables? Struggle with that on your website. The best way to submit comparables is just write it down on a piece of paper, and if you have a scanner, you can scan them and then have it submitted with your appeal. You can also call, again, that number, and the clerk's office will help you upload evidence if you need it. Do I still have to look up or drive around looking for houses similar to mine and see what their taxes are? The Cook County Assessor has a portal called Cook County Viewer that helps you compare properties. We're going to put together a kind of a slideshow or a cliff notes on loading appeals using the Cook County Viewer. We'll have that on our social medias and website, just kind of a tutorial on how to do that. A lot of people struggle with that. It's one of the things that people hate doing, and that's probably why they will use, attorneys or the property tax appeal groups that do that. Also, another good thing would be go to your assessor's office. They will help you find comparables. They love that. That's what they're there for. It's community outreach. So go to your local assessor and they can help you. Is mixed use property considered commercial? If so, why do you need an attorney? Well, it depends on how it is set up. If it's in a corporation, that's just the rules of the board of review. You need an attorney if it's in a corporation. I would need to have some more specific information, Ross. So you can give the office a call or send me an email and I could talk about it with you and see how your mixed use property is set up. Maybe you don't. I'd love to be able to help you. Where will the in-person meetings be? We're gonna work with the local electeds, Commissioner Aguilar and Commissioner Morrison and Commissioner Silvestri. The local assessors will work with them and have community outreaches. Now that it's a little safer to do it, we're hoping to get out and we're going to have a complete and robust outreach when we do that. So we'll have how to pull comparables and we'll be able to answer a lot more questions, I think, in person. So stay tuned to that. We're going to send that stuff out as we can kind of finalize dates. We want to wait till the townships actually are starting to be released from the assessor. So we still don't have any townships yet. And, quite frankly, it's probably going to be a bigger question for the Chicago tri. And after these second bills come out, there's probably gonna be a lot of questions and we're here to help. So stay tuned for that. For an appeal to process, can I submit an appeal for taxes from 2019? Unfortunately, no, you cannot submit an appeal from 2019. You cannot submit an appeal for 2020 at this point. They've passed. So just look forward to 2021 when your township opens. We're glad to help you. If there's an error, if there's errors in your assessed value, you can request a certificate of error from the assessor and they can go back 3 years. So there's questions on that. You can reach out to us. We can kind of walk you through that if there is something that would constitute an error. That would be wrong square footage, wrong classification. Those are probably the two biggest reasons for certificate of appeals. Or if there was a fire, a flood, or an act of God that caused vacancy, we could also help with that. If I filed for last year, do I need to file again? Great question, Luis. Yes, you should file every year, every single year, even if markets change, neighborhoods change. The old axiom in real estate is location, location, location. So the sales comparables change, just, the world changes every year. So keep going, keep filing your appeals. To file an appeal to the board of review, do I need to provide comparables? You don't need to provide comparables at the board of review. If we get an appeal for overassessment, we will find comparables. We will do the work. It's not mandatory that you do them. And I'm talking from residential homeowners, non-attorneys. We will find comparables, and we have a robust comparable system. And it's a good time to probably bring up what a good comparable is. So when we look for comparables, it's location is probably the first thing we look for. If I can find 5 houses on the block just like yours that are the same class, close to the same age, close to the same square footage, that's going to give me a good picture. Within the block is probably the first place we look. And if we have to cast a wider net, we go out to a 1/4 mile. And then if we have to cast a wider net, we can go out to a 1/2 mile. But we realize there's pockets of communities that have different valuations. So you want to keep it as close as possible to the subject property. Linda, where do I find comparables? If you go to Cook County Assessor, they actually have a good tutorial on there. We're going to have something similar to that. They actually have a program, I mentioned, Cook County Viewer, that helps with that. That's not a board of review product, but we do use it, and the assessors use it, and the attorneys use it, quite frankly. So it is a good system to use. When will Jefferson Township open for board of review? Great question, Marjan. I do not know. The assessor's office has taken a big step this year to upgrade their IT infrastructure, and they're in the middle, or they're upgrading, and it's causing some delays. So that's why it's important to register, because once you register the board of review, you don't have to remember anymore. We're going to proactively let you know, hey, your township is open. I'm just like probably many of you. I hate signing up for stuff. I don't want to get spam. I don't want to get phone calls. We do not do any of that. We will not spam you. We will not sell your information. It's just for informational purposes. And then you can go back and as the commissioner mentioned, you can have your historical appeals right at your fingertips. Roman, will the board continue to use DAPS or switch to Smart File as the assessor? We're going to continue to use DAPS in the foreseeable future. We're actually due for an upgrade this year. If everything goes well with the assessor and their Tyler system, maybe in the future I can see maybe some cost savings, some consolidation of work, and I'd love to save the county some money. So I mean, it's not off the table. It's just right now it's not in the cards. From Ken, would there be any benefit to me if I filed my appeal a year before my township is due? Oh, I think I know what you mean. So if your township is not due for reassessment until say 2022, yeah, it goes back to that. You should appeal every year because things change, the comparables change. The files that we worked this year and we changed, we reduced their assessed value. Now that becomes evidence in the next year. So if, for example, if 5 houses on one block ended up getting a reduction, well, you're the 6th house, you're probably due for a reduction now because your 5 neighbors are lower. How can we compare properties if all properties in the subdivision have been increased? If they're uniform, there really isn't an argument unless there's some proof that all of them were increased incorrectly. If there's some recent sales, it's probably the most common reason for something that to be looked at again. And don't get me wrong, there's errors that get made. And that's why we have these vehicles, certificate of errors and certificates of corrections. There's things that happen. There is still human element involved. There's fat fingers. There's things happen. So if something really seems out of whack, that's when I think you pick up the phone and call, write the commissioner an email, write me an email, and we'll get to the bottom of it. When does Leyden Township open? We do not have that information yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody? Do we know Leyden yet? Oh, okay. Thanks, Jerry. Gotcha. Yeah, we do not have it. It's not released yet. I think the assessors only mailed, I think 6 townships, but we haven't received any yet. And what I mean is we're still in that 90, 100-day window. So we have not received any yet, any townships. Rogers Park is going to be the first Chicago area that's going to be released, and it was supposed to be released just this past Friday, but it's been delayed again. So we're still waiting for the first Chicago area to come out, and believe me, it's the talk of the town. The whole practicing bar is calling the commissioner, asking when, and I'm sure they're bugging Assessor Kagi's office like crazy. So we're all kind of waiting with bated breath on that. Lynette, should I file with both the board of review and the assessor to get the best tax reduction, or is it best just to file with the board of review? You could appeal at the assessor, and whether or not they reduce it or not, you still want to appeal it with the board of review. We can't or we won't raise it, so there's nothing, and it's free. It's going to cost a little bit of time, but when I say a little bit of time, really you can after you register, you could probably put your appeal in about 5 minutes. Marjan, is there a maximum percent the assessor can increase your property tax? Not that I know of. Boy, I wish there was. I don't think there's a maximum. Not that I've ever heard. If anyone knows any different, man, I'd love to know myself. It's a great question. I'm going to write that one down because I've never heard of that, but could be good to know. Commissioner Aguilar, how are you doing today, sir?
Real good. Thank Commissioner Wendt, thank you for having this this workshop here. Just a quick question: if they lost their tax bill, how can they get their PIN number?
There's a couple different ways you can do that. You can search it on the assessor's website by the address. You can also search it on the Cook County Viewer website. It uses GIS software, so that's like basically like Google Maps. It is it's a great tool. So Commissioner, I would say you can also put your address in there and it'll pop out your PIN. So just like the assessor site, you can search for your property by either method, your PIN or your address. So that Cook County Viewer is also where you would go to build your comparable list. And when we do in person, we'll have analysts there who can help do that, on a personal level. So
Thank you for doing this. Thank you, Commissioner Wendt, for hosting this informative video here. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for your leadership on the board. Appreciate it. I know you've always been a good advocate for the board of review. So what age can you qualify for your senior freeze? It's 65, but there's a income caveat. You have to have a household income less than 65,000. So it's easy to remember. 65 is the year, how old you can be, and 65,000 is the maximum household income. So that means if there's a elderly couple, bringing in Social Security, but their millennial son who's never moved out still lives with them, it's his income is included in that as well. So time to send him on his way.
It's out at 65. What would be the base year? 66 would be the first year that they would see the freeze. Then.
Yeah, right. Thanks for clarifying that. 65 is the base year, and then 66 it'll actually kick in. Thanks, Ted. I'll hit one last thing. So the exemptions that comes up a lot. There's a lot of different exemptions out there. There's not only a senior freeze. There's a senior homeowners exemption. There's a regular homeowners exemption. Disability exemptions. There is injured military exemptions. But those are all done at the assessor. So the Board of Review does not handle the exemption side of it. So if you do have exemption issues, that's one of those things you can request a certificate of error, and you can go back 3 years. And I was in the office today, and I was doing certificates of error from 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. The 2016s were just sitting in the offices too long. Quite frankly, they still were filed in time, just the work wasn't done on time. It's just one of those things that as we came in here with Commissioner Wendt and her team, we're trying to move things a little faster within the Board of Review. So we have a learning curve, and it's not always going to be perfect, but we're going to try like hell. Hopefully, these programs are beneficial for the constituents, for taxpayers, and it's good for us too. We learn things, and it's a good collaboration. So I again appreciate everybody. Watch your local electeds as we start getting out in the community with our road shows, and feel free to bring your friends, family, and learn about it. Everybody should appeal their taxes every single year. It's all about fairness. We don't want to pay. I'm a homeowner. Our analysts are homeowners. The commissioner's a homeowner. I don't have a problem paying my taxes. I just don't want to pay any more than I need to, and I want to make sure it's fair. So that's what we're here for. I appreciate everyone coming tonight. Have a great evening, and see you in the future.